What's going on, everybody? Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of the Legion of RAW. I was already ready to get the guns out. Helium flex. He's preparing a helium tattoo on his bicep, ladies and gentlemen. Vince, how are you, my man?
I'm doing good, Dr. Chris. How are you?
Good. Ready for that balloon tattoo coming up soon for you, man. It's going to be, I'm going to pop for it.
Yes.
How are things with you, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm man, my dad, bro. My dad's 92.
Yeah.
And he just spent 3 weeks with me because he lives in Florida. And I got to tell you, bro, it was tough, Chris, because I wanted to spend as much time as I possibly could with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, bro, I was doing my shows at like 3:30 in the morning. So by the time he got up, I'd be done.
Ooh.
And oh, bro, it was a grueling 3 weeks, man. So I'm gonna, yeah, man. I'm really looking forward to a good night's sleep after this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it for you as well, man. All right, we're starting right off with Andrew Cool 199 super chat, bro. Who wore better, Brock or Trish? Mine is Brock.
Bro, I want to ask Sportskeeda Nation a question out there, because I don't know the answer to this. Which female did the cowboy gimmick first? Was it Trish Stratus or was it Mickey James? Who did it first? Somebody had to do it first. Somebody ripped off somebody else.
That's a good question. I think I know the answer for that, but we'll see. We'll see what the SK Nation says. The Cowgirl wasn't that Mickey James didn't really do that until TNA, though, didn't she?
I know when she was at TNA, bro, she was trying to launch a country and Western music career. And I didn't really follow her career in the WWE, so I don't know.
If I'm not mistaken, she debuted as like a groupie, like one of Trish's groupies.
Okay. Well, did Trish always do that gimmick though?
She not really a cowgirl. I remember when she debuted when she was with TNA. It was her, Tess and Albert, and she did kind of have like a long coat type of gimmick with her, but she was more like pinup-y. It wasn't necessarily like cowgirlish. It was more like pinup model type of deal. She ended up transitioning over to more of a cowgirl look, but it wasn't always like that though. It was not from the very beginning, but as far as I remember, she had that type of gimmick way before Trish did, especially since way before Mickey did, especially since Mickey debuted as one of her groupies, if I'm not mistaken.
Bro, a couple of things I want to compare Raw to because it's very, very hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last Tuesday, bro, so I didn't get to talk about it yet on this show. Last Tuesday, I saw John Wick 4 because I'm a huge fan of the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Chris, there are two things I want to tell you. First of all, bro, the movie was 3 hours long, much like this show. Chris, flew by, bro. You would have swore the movie was an hour. There was not one dull spot, not one boring spot, not a useless dialogue. 3 hours, bro, that had you glued to the television screen. The reason I bring that up, guys, is because we always make the 3-hour excuse for Raw. Yeah. No, bro, it can be done. Now, don't get me wrong, bro. Raw is weekly, so obviously it would be challenging to do it every week, even though I will say that Ed Ferrara and myself reeled off 9 3-hour nitros with no problem. Okay, but even once in a while, can they maybe give us one with nonstop action once every 3 months, maybe, bro, maybe 4 times a year? And here's my second takeaway, Chris, which is all this show was. For all of you John Wick fans out there and people that enjoy the franchise, bro, imagine if John Wick 4 or any of his movies were just the fight sequences.
Right.
There were no stories. There were no characters. It was just the fight sequences. What kind of a movie would that be? I'll tell you exactly what kind of a movie that would be. Chris, after 20 minutes, you'd get tired of the fight sequences, just like you do on a professional wrestling show. This is all match, Chris. Not one single story, zero character building. It's like seeing John Wick without any characters, without any storylines, and they literally, bro, just fight each other for 3 hours for the sake of fighting. That's all this show is. There's nothing, bro, like literally, like if you have a brain in your head and you want to watch something and have to think about it, this is not the show for you, bro, because there's nothing you have to think about when you're watching Raw, bro.
Yeah. I've said this before, Vince. I think, pro wrestling is a comic book come to life. And if you're actually reading a comic book, and if I'm literally reading a comic book and I'm seeing page 2 fight scene, page 4 fight scene, page 6 fight scene, page 9 fight scene, I keep thinking like, okay, well, I'm tired of this. Where's the suspense here? You need to build up. Like, why have 8 fight scenes and you can just have one fight scene with a good story? I mean, like that's what it should be. But what happens is you're having 8 fight scenes because there's no story to build up the fight scenes, and that's that's what we see every single week with the product.
Yeah. Now, guys, I will tell you this, but again, we've done. Chris and I have done hundreds of these shows. We know the formula, we know the players, we know the game. Now, Chris, if there is an angle next week where the Usos have heat with the Fluffernutters, whatever they're called, because they didn't get the job done, okay, bro, fine. Do you really think they're going to do that? No, bro. The only reason they did that scene at the beginning with Heyman and both sides there was that gave them an excuse to have these matches for the night. Right. Because I will guarantee you anything, they don't follow it up next week. And that would be interesting. Mm-hmm. That the Usos got the job done. The what are they called again? The
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day didn't get the job done. The Usos would have an issue with that. Mm-hmm. They ain't going to go there, Chris. You know why they're not going to go there? Because they don't know how to write that.
And here's my thing, Vince. Like, that makes sense, but the reason why I don't like stuff like that anymore is because so many fans have ruined the art of professional wrestling when it comes to that comic book come to life, when it comes to the good guys, the bad guys. I know that there's gray area. I know that there's nuance. I get it. But to me, when I'm thinking of nuance, I'm thinking like not every baby face is like a white meat baby face. You know what I mean? Like Austin was a baby face, and I appreciate it because he related to the crowd. He was the person who couldn't stand the authority. You know what I mean? And so many people, just about everybody who has a job, can relate to that. But the problem is the fans have created such a bloodthirsty environment that the characters should still matter. And the thing is, characters don't matter as much. You're beefing with each other just to what? Have a match. It's no story behind it. And that's the problem, man. It's like, we were talking before about Dante Martin's injury, from Top Flight, and uh just how Penta, it was a ladder match, and Penta looked at the ladder. He was right by the belts, and what he decided to do instead was a Canadian destroyer off of the table. Made no sense, made no story, didn't have any type of logic to it. Even if he would have said, even if Dante would have been beating him up, and he tried to basically squelch that, that pesky Dante Martin who's keep coming in the way of him getting the belt, like something. But no, there was nothing that was involved logically of made him doing that spot. And what happened? He had a compound fracture in his ankle just because to appease the bloodthirsty crowd, man. And it's like you have this crowd nowadays that's so bloodthirsty that you're taking away the character and the storyline to feed the beast. And you need to starve the beast in order to recondition what to feed the beast. And I think that should be the case for when it comes to booking. It's like a lot of times people feel like a lot of these bookers, like Tony Khan, especially Tony Khan, they feel as if they're too far gone with having to feed the beast, that they feel like they don't have any other option. And I think you do. You have another option. It's going to take some time to reel it back in and recondition. I'm thinking psychologically. It's just a factor of reconditioning. It's going to take a while, but you're going to have to start putting that investment in reconditioning this bloodthirsty crowd in order to stop doing those stupid spots and make stories and make characters mean something.
Yeah, Chris, listen, the marks are the marks are in the ring. I've said this now for years and years and years. I'm going to tell you a story that you're going to love, Chris. I swear to God. So, bro, I'm having this steel cage match with the Ric Flair at the Phillips Arena. Okay. It's a sold out. It's a huge crowd, right? Yeah. So, bro, we get to the top of the cage. This is the difference with me and the marks in the ring. Okay. So, bro, we get to the top of the cage. I'm trying to get away from Flair. I'm crawling to the corner of the cage. Chris, I look down, and for a split second, what runs through my mind is, Vince, if you take this bump, they will respect you forever. Everything they've ever hated about you. You may even get a "This is awesome" chant. You will go down. And bro, as I'm thinking this, literally half a second after the thought ran through my head, I said to myself, what are you, effing nuts? That's the difference between me and these idiots, bro. Like, yeah, bro, you're going to think about how cool it would be, and people may talk about it, and you're going to get GIFs and riffs and clips and all this stuff. And then the reality sinks in, and it's like, yeah, bro, I'm going to do it. In what universe am I going to do that, bro?
For sure, man. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to pop for the spot, and then they're going to get tired of the spot and want a new spot, and then you're going to try to one up the spot that you did, and then they're going to say, they're going to give you your respect, so to speak. You're going to give your chant. You're going to have a quick dopamine rush, and then they're going to forget the spot and want another spot, and then you're going to try to one up that spot. You know what I mean? And that's what happens all the time when it comes to pro wrestling, and that's the reason why you're doing Canadian destroyers off of tables now. That's the reason why when Jeff Hardy did the swanton off of the ledge, on the building, in AEW. I mean, it's like it's never good enough. It's never going to make the marks content, and you're going to risk breaking body parts, having much pain, and dealing with that pain internally, just to please these bloodthirsty marks that will never be content. And that's
not only will they never be content, Chris, they don't care about you.
They don't.
Because, bro, if you're out of action for a year or 2 years, they'll put the next slob in your
Out of sight,
spot.
out of sight, out of mind, man.
They could care less about you. That's the part about it. They could care less.
Yep.
But, Chris, they have lost all subjectivity with this show because, again, man, I'm always going through this show as a casual fan. And this is the first thing that hit me, Chris. And tell me if I'm right or I'm wrong. We've got the Usos and the Bloodline lined up on one side, and we got Judgment Day lined up the other side, and they're all facing each other, right? Okay, bro. So Rhea Ripley is staring down Solo Sikoa. Chris, was it not a month ago that Rhea Ripley was going 50-50 with every girl on the roster?
Yeah.
I mean, right or wrong, that's what I mean about this freaking company. As a casual fan, and I'm watching this, I'm like, bro, now if that was China in that spot, that's one thing. But China didn't go 50-50 with Chelsea Green, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. Did they forget all that? Did they forget that they did all that? So Rhea Ripley is not a threat to Solo Sikoa?
And it's a domino effect if you think of it that way, Vince, because if you think about that, then you think of her staring down Solo Sikoa, which diminishes him as an intimidating character.
That's right.
And then he defeated Rey Mysterio, who just won the Hall of Fame. So at the end of the day, your Hall of Famer is equal to someone who is Liv Morgan, basically. You know what I mean? And so that's the problem when it comes to not being consistent with protecting your characters and making people look big. You know, and we saw that. So you're
why did Rhea Ripley go 50-50 with all those women? Because they had to stretch out the times of the matches, bro. That's why. Because they're creatively bankrupt. So we can't have Rhea go over in 3-minute squashes. No, we need 13 minutes of back and that's fine, bro. But then don't have a stare down Solo Sikoa and think I'm gonna believe it.
Very true. Absolutely. Couple super chats. We got Joseph Gonzalez, $9.99.
Oh, it was nonsense.
Cody's segment was nonsense to me. He beat up 20 guards, which just isn't believable at all. True with him, and he somehow wasn't arrested for assaulting 20 guards. Who wrote this? Yeah, I agree.
And bro, how ridiculous again is this, Joseph? I swear, it's like, Chris, come on, man. Did you notice, bro? So just so you guys know, all these security guards are independent wrestlers, or maybe they're just starting out at NXT, whatever.
Yeah, they're typically local indie wrestlers. Yeah,
they're local indie wrestlers. That's who all these security guards. Bro, do they not know how ridiculous it looks, bro, when all these security guards get in the ring and Chris, from every angle, every one of them, Chris, was doing.
Yeah.
There were 10 guys in the ring. Do they not know how stupid that looks, bro?
From a production standpoint, so you've worked there when they've done pull-aparts. So I remember wrestlers a lot was involved with the pull-aparts, but they would have the security guards and stuff like that. Now, in your day, Attitude Era, 25 years ago, who would produce those pull-aparts and how would you make it believable?
Well, bro, I will tell you this. First of all, if Steve Austin is in the role of Cody Rhodes, Steve Austin is going to handpick the students that he wants to be in the ring. Bro, come on. I'm 62. I could have beat up 75% of these guys. Austin is going to handpick. Taker is going to handpick because they want the biggest, most aggressive guys. Then those guys are going to take the people they selected and they're going to lay out all the action with those guys because Austin knows, bro, first of all, if you're a security guard and you weigh 150 pounds, I got a guy weighing 150 pounds protecting me. How Mickey Mouse does that make us look?
Yeah.
So those guys would eliminate all those guys that we saw in the ring tonight. And then once they had the group that was going to be in there, they would walk them through it step by step by step.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see here. Now we have we got another super chat. Got to find her. Here we go. Mike Dowling, $10 super chat. I've been watching wrestling for 44 years. It's just not interesting anymore. It's just not fun anymore. They should change WrestleMania to Spot Fest, but I still watch it every week. Well, I appreciate you watching this show despite not liking wrestling anymore. But yeah, we've talked about this before, Vince. It's just like, why do people still watch wrestling? There's reasons why people still watch wrestling. The nostalgia factor is something that you've been doing for a while. People enjoy sports or sports entertainment. Like, for instance, I would still watch football. I watched NFL when the Titans lost 7 straight games. You know what I mean? So you watch it just for the hopes of it could be better, sooner than later. But Vince, with wrestling fans, though, still trying to hold on to it could be better. For instance, I watch it because of my, I get paid to watch it, for one. And then for two, I watch it because of my great grandma, my late great grandma, in honor of her. When she passed away, she was a big wrestling fan. The people who still watch wrestling, I can respect for those things. But for the people who still watch wrestling and try to and they show their cognitive dissonance by trying to justify just all these big old useless spots and things like that. What do you say to those people?
Bro, I will say this, man. I have been a fan of the San Francisco Giants long before many of these people were ever born. Okay, I will tell you this, Chris. When I watch every Giant game. Mm-hmm. When the Giants blow a game really bad, when they give a game away, Chris, I may miss the next 3 games. Mm-hmm. I need to get over it. When they really it's almost like I punished them. It's almost like, you guys want to play that poorly and blow that game. You don't deserve my time. Literally, I do that. This show sucks every week. Like, seriously, at what point do these people say, this is a massive waste of my time? I don't know, bro. I don't have the answer to that.
Yeah.
Because the WWE is totally disrespecting you by putting shows like this on. Chris, I live in Colorado. The Colorado Rockies, their ownership don't want to spend any money. So they don't want to put a good team on the field. Guess what, bro? Nobody's going to the games. Yeah, yes, exactly. No one's going to the games. So to me, it's no different than you put on a bad product. You don't watch the bad product. And that's exactly what they're doing, bro. Yeah. They're sleepwalking through this show. There is no effort whatsoever because they know you are going to watch this show no matter what. And you do.
College football is, my jam. And I'm a big sports radio guy, especially during college football season. One of the sports radio episodes, they were talking about how they did a segment where they were talking about the lowest ticketed games for the weekend. And one of the lowest ticketed games for the weekend was an Auburn game. And Auburn, for a while was one of the powerhouses in the SEC, even won a championship with Cam Newton. And so, like, for Auburn to be a powerhouse in the SEC, to become one of the lowest ticketed games of the week is such a fall from grace because why? They're not winning consistently. They're not a powerhouse anymore. So the value of the team and the value of the game and the value of the attendance is going to dwindle because fans are like, I'm good. and it makes it more desperate for the ticket, for the team and for the stadium. It's okay, well, let's lower the price, to try to get some bodies in there. Now, if Auburn was one of the top teams in the SEC, their tickets wouldn't have been nearly as low and cheap because they would the demand would be higher to want to come to the game, because they'll be successful. So I agree with you 100% there. Let's start off with the Usos and Solo Sikoa cutting in-ring promo by Paul Heyman, interrupted by Judgment Day. We talked about that. And then it goes into Solo Sikoa defeating Rey Mysterio. Bloodline beats down LWO post match. What are your thoughts on that?
Here are my thoughts about this. Is what I mean, bro, about the writers don't give a crap. Triple H doesn't give a crap. The performers of themselves don't give a crap. Let me tell you why, Chris. Chris, you got to understand, I worked with talent. Mm-hmm. So when I'm going to suggest something that's wrong, I'm going to tell you exactly what the talent would tell me. Yeah. But I never suggested anything was wrong because I understood wrestling. So, bro, let me get this right. You got Solo and Mysterio. The Latino world order comes out. Solo goes over. Then the Usos, the heels, the Usos and Sikoa lay out all the baby faces, right? Mm-hmm. Am I right? The heels laid out well, apparently, bro, they weren't too hurt because they all came back at the end. Now, bro, if I am writing that, say, for argument's sake, the Nation of Domination. Okay, bro, yeah, in segment 2, bro, you're going to beat the Boricuas, to a pulp, bro. You're going to leave them laying. And then in segment 9, the Boricuas are going to come back and hit the ring. Rock would look at me and say, well, Vince, how tough are we if we beat these guys up and they're back an hour later? That doesn't make us too tough. This is what I'm talking about, bro. That's not how you get heels over.
Yeah.
That's not how, if anything, bro, if the Latino World Order and Rey tried to come out again at the end, lay them out again, if anything. But how tough are they, bro? Obviously, they didn't get the job done.
Yeah, that's
what you can't oversee stuff like that, Chris.
Very true. Yeah, and why couldn't they try to make some intrigue into a Rey Solo Sikoa feud? Why is this just another win on the win column? Why would you have booked a match between Rey and Solo knowing that they could have had a feud down the line and meant more?
I will tell you exactly why, because it's right here in my notes. I have this, Latino World Order, Solo over, Usos layout, Latino World Order, all just to set up another match.
Yeah.
So these will give them more matches. And bro, what is every match based out of? A fight.
Yeah.
Every match is based out of a run-in. So the fact that the LWO ran in, oh, bro, now the Usos have somebody to work with next week in another meaningless match.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they do. That's the only reason they do it, bro.
Yeah. And I don't mind if they, had Solo go over, Joaquin Wilde or Cruz del Toro, the other two members of LWO, because they're more of a tag team. It protects them as a tag team because they're more of a tag team and not necessarily singles wrestlers, at least what they're advertised, at least how they're booked in WWE. Santos Escobar, I think there's money in him. I think that he could be like one of the biggest Latino baby faces if they book him correctly. I think there's a lot of opportunity in Santos. So I wouldn't have had him lose to Santos, but Joaquin Wilde or Cruz del Toro, they could take a loss. But it just doesn't make sense. If you're trying to build up Solo, which I don't mind, I don't mind them doing that. It's just that, I think business, there's so much money on the table that you're missing out on by just having him beat Rey Mysterio, knowing that Rey Mysterio is still in his feud with Dominic and still knowing that there's something that's going to be built up for Bad Bunny to come. You're having a big Bad Bunny match at Backlash just for Rey to keep getting these losses, and he just was in the Hall of Fame. He just lost on SmackDown. He was in the Hall of Fame. He's losing consistently. how is this really representing your Hall of Fame when you have an active person headlining a WWE Hall of Fame just to lose? And I've said that before. He's way too 50-50 nowadays, headlining a Hall of Fame just to continue to lose. That shows, I mean, that doesn't really show, that doesn't really represent the Hall of Fame very well.
Yeah.
I think they missed out on there. I think they could have spent some time drawing this out more, from a storyline perspective, if the goal is to push Solo Sikoa, which I don't mind. Next, we had an earlier today segment, Alpha Academy and Maxine Dupree and Adam Pearce's office. So a running theme of this show was they're trying to hype up the upcoming draft. So this was one of those upcoming draft hypes. Will we see Otis or Otis? So thoughts on that?
Who cares? I mean, bro, who's turning into SmackDown to see if Otis goes to the blue and Shush goes to the red? I want to meet that person. Literally, bro. If you're out there in Sportskeeda Nation, step to the front of the line. If you're the guy tuning in to see if Otis is on one brand and Shush is on the other brand, please let me know, because, bro, I promise you, I will give you 1,000 more productive things you could do than that.
Yes, indeed.
Who cares, bro?
Yeah.
Who cares except the people already watching?
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they care about that.
Good point there. We get a recap of Damage Control, Dissension from last week. And then we get Bianca Belair defeating Dakota Kai. It's just what do we have here?
And again, bro, Dakota Kai is really going to go over in this match. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna watch this for as however long as it was, thinking that Dakota Kai has a chance of. Bro, come on, man, come on.
In this particular thing, so it looks like they're going to have EO and Bianca Belair for Backlash. So they're putting, they're just kind of. It's just fodder at this point, just to try to figure out what to do with Bianca, because she's defeated just about everybody. So instead of just having, they are notorious for just giving people reps of people of feuds that could, go longer, or just meaningless matches on the way to the pay-per-view without much story in it. What do you think about this as far as Bianca Belair just getting reps and Dakota Kai being used to just bump up Bianca Belair as if it's necessary? Wouldn't you would rather take that segment and make a story into it instead?
Bro, even bro, not only that, like, again, bro, we obviously know the outcome of the match. Okay, rather than even have the match, let's do some character building with the both of them. Not everything has to be a match. We know nothing about Dakota Sky, is it? I know nothing about her. Nothing. Zero. I know she's got an English accent. I know she likes to dye her hair different colors, and I know she was at NXT. That's all I know, bro. And how long has she been on TV? Again, bro, they're creatively bankrupt, bro. That's the problem, man. When you have wrestlers involved in creative, I could not do what Triple H did in the ring. I promise you, bro. But you know what? Triple H could never do what I did creatively. Just because you're a wrestler, it does not make you a writer. Because we don't need to see predictable matches. It's what you always say, Chris. Who got over in this match? Bianca Belair didn't get over because you knew she was going to win the match. So she didn't get over. Dakota Kai didn't get over because she lost another match. So who did you get over?
Nobody.
Nobody.
And to your point, Vince, we've seen Dakota Kai on the main roster for about 8.5 months now. And within 8.5 months, most people still have no clue who she is.
I have no clue, bro. No clue.
We knew that she was a protege. I mean, she's a contemporary, I guess, of Bailey, we still don't know why that became a thing. We don't even know why damage control became a thing.
Nope.
In the very beginning, they were talking about they're running roughshod and just kind of changing the game and just kind of making sure that they, you know, shape up the women's division, I guess. But there's still no rhyme or reason. There's no explanation of why Bailey chose Dakota Kai and Io Sky out of all the other possible choices from the women's division. Why Dakota Kai? Why Io Sky? We still don't know that. Like we still have no clue why she chose those two people.
I still have no clue of what damage control is supposed to mean. What does that even mean? Damage? What damage are you controlling?
They were talking about in the beginning, like I said, they are trying to kind of shape up or the women's division.
Oh, well, they're doing a fine job with that.
But again, Vince, though, why though? Like why is Bailey upset about the women's division? Why is Dakota Kai upset? Why is Io Sky upset? And why would they be upset if they've never been on the main roster? Like, let us know all this stuff. Yeah. We still don't know, and that's
did we ever find out too, bro? Like, do we know what happened to Carmella? Do we know?
No, there's a bunch of rumors of what it could be. I haven't found anything conclusive.
Because that was another thing, bro. I could never, like, everything with me, bro. I need the little bow. Mm-hmm. You would have never ever seen a character just disappear with no explanation at all. Yeah. There always had to be something. So, like, now we're into this Chelsea Green DeVille thing, and I'm like, are they going to tell us what happened to Carl? Like,
I think they probably won't, just because they probably don't have a way to kayfabe it. So it seems like it was something real that happened to her. They don't have a way to kayfabe it, so they won't say anything about it. Because it was supposed to be Chelsea and Carmella in that 4-way match at WrestleMania, and then last minute, Sonya Deville stepped in, and now they're a team. So we got Joseph 999 super chat. Tonight was just another reminder of how dry women's wrestling is. They have no good stories, angles, characters, or anything to make them more interesting. I think Bianca's being wasted. Yeah, I think I agree with you, Joseph. And I also think Bianca's being wasted. I do think, I think that Bianca Belair could be the next, top babyface, woman's babyface going into the future. They have been talking about the fact that she's 3-0 at WrestleMania. She can be the woman who starts the WrestleMania streak. I would be interested in that. But give me more though. I mean, as Bianca being one of my favorites in wrestling, I agree with a lot of the critiques now, because I want more. I want more of who Bianca Belair is. Otherwise, because they're pigeonholing themselves of just saying, instead of just giving us time to realize who the character of Bianca Belair is, they're just throwing women's wrestlers to her. And she's beating them, and now they're back on the back of the line. And there comes someone else. She beats. Now they're back of the line. Now there's someone else. She beats. Now to the back of the line. And that's where people are starting to see, like, okay, we're tired of this beat you and then get to the back of the line. Give us more substance here. And that's the reason why people are drifting away from her. Crickets, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Vince Russo.
I agree. No, bro, you know what it is, bro. Here's what it is. Let's break this down to the most basic of fundamentals. Here's this. Chris, we got two people fighting. Here's the question I'm asking. Okay, we got two people fighting.
Yeah.
What is the conflict? Okay, I'm going to go back to John Wick 4. There are heroes and villains. John Wick is fighting certain people. He's fighting with certain people. I know the reasons why. What are the conflicts here? There are no conflicts. There's a wrestling show, so everybody just wrestles. There's no conflicts.
But that's how it was with her and Asuka. It was nothing.
Right,
It was
right.
just,
And where's Asuka? What happened to Asuka? Is she on SmackDown now?
No, she just disappeared after Mania, man. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. We got Star Trekker $20 super chat. Isn't it dumb how wrestlers can be in a ring talking and someone's music hits and they just walk out? If this was real world athletes, I think you meant real world athletes. If this was real, would athletes just hit the ring whenever they want? Funny logic of wrestling, I guess. Yeah.
Talk about that all the time.
Yeah. Good point there, Star Trekker. The logic of wrestling is illogical in many cases. We got Scott Smith, $5 super chat. The thing I miss about watch WWE, and that's caring about talent that I'm watching on my TV, is what Vince Russo has been talking about for years. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. As far as just there's no buy-in. I say this all the time. There's no buy-in. It's just match, and people get tired. There's not a lot of buy-in if you're just giving me matches every week, man. None. We have another super chat. Rollin coming through $1.99. Did you guys predict that Asuka would beat Bianca? No, I said Bianca would win.
Yeah,
I remember I was like, in the beginning, I was like, I can see Asuka winning, but then as we saw we saw it toward the end, I remember saying that Asuka's not built strongly enough to go over Bianca. I just didn't see it. The way that they were building Asuka, it was very poor, and I was like, oh, there's no way that Bianca's going to lose eventually. We have backstage Judge talking to Paul Heyman. We're still weaving this in toward the end. Cody Rhodes calling out Brock Lesnar, gets interrupted by Adam Pearce. Security comes out with Cody. Brock Lesnar comes out. Cody
wait a minute.
Oh, time.
Give me him. Yeah.
Man, it's been a while. Come on, Joey.
Time out, Joey. Time out, Joey.
What I mean, Chris, there's so many things wrong with this segment, first of all. So Cody goes out there. Here comes Adam Pearce. And he tells Cody, you're not medically clear to be here. Bro, wouldn't they have had all day to take care of that? Bro, not only that, Chris, not only that. When Cody wrestled with the purple gimmick, with the purple torn pec, well, I guess he was cleared to wrestle. They didn't care about him then. They didn't go, bro. You got the door thing. Yeah, go wrestle. But now he's not cleared. So they had all day to, talk to Cody in the back. But I guess nobody did. So here he is. But this is the ridiculous of this, bro. This is what I always go back to. Such fake, phony wrestling. Bro, they are in the ratings business. It is all about ratings. It is all about getting as many people to watch your television show as possible. Guess what, bro? They want to see Cody and Brock Lesnar go at it. The last thing you're going to do on a live television show is keep these two from going at it. You're going to invite this, bro. You're going to do everything to make this happen. But no, bro, he wasn't clear to be there tonight. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that was.
I think they're desperate. I mean, I think that's a fantastic point. You get a whole torn pec.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You get beat up by Brock a couple of weeks ago. You're not medically cleared. Yeah. But a torn pec, though. Yes. I think that passed the clearance. Absolutely. Yes. But to your point, I think what they were trying to do was make Cody look like he's tough enough for Brock Lesnar. I don't think it would have really been believable if they would have just done a non-security segment one-on-one with them. I think Brock could wipe the floor with Cody as he did a couple of weeks ago. So it seems like they're trying to make him beating up the security.
Chris, I'm with you. That's why the security guards can't be 150 pounds.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree.
And that's why Cody can't end this with, you're not a cowboy, you're a coward.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my God. Come on.
Yeah.
Bro.
I think that was pointless by saying that. So, but hey, man, Cody is I mean, he's playing the baby face to a T, man. He he's really trying to hone that in. So let me ask you this again: the over under. Give me an over under. Cody Rhodes turning heel by the Royal Rumble next year. Over or under?
Oh, definitely over.
Over
By January?
by January, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Got you. What y'all think? What y'all think as SK Nation? So over under Cody turning heel before Royal Rumble next year. Got a couple of super chats. Corey Jackson, 199. What would be the best match segment ratio per show? That's a good question. What do you think, Vince?
Well, I don't understand exactly what does he mean.
So, we were talking about a lot of matches. There's just match. And so how many matches do you think would be a good ratio per like segment where you're actually building characters instead of just throwing matches out there?
Oh man, I don't even know how many segments a 3-hour show is. It's probably like, shoot, man. I don't even know how many commercial breaks there are over 3 hours.
You did Nitro. How many segments were there?
I think a 2-hour show is about like 15 segments, 15 segments, something like that.
You say you did 9 3-hour shows, right?
Yeah. I don't remember, bro. I wish I remember. It was so long ago.
Gotcha.
Long ago. But see, that's the thing, Corey. It doesn't have to be a match. It could be a fight. As long as there's action. It could be something in the parking lot. It could be something in the locker room. It could be something in catering. As long as there's action, there are so many ways to develop action. It doesn't always have to be a match in the ring. There are a lot of creative ways, man, to create action.
And to me, I'm old school, man. When it comes to physicality, I think that a lot of angles don't need physicality until the very end, man. I mean, if you want to do the go home, if you want to do a pull apart segment of the go home, I'm cool with that because that gives us more excitement to see the physicality come at the pay-per-view. But if you're doing physicality in some weird security segment weeks before the pay-per-view, that's the peak that we want to see them fight. If you do it 3 weeks beforehand, you've already reached the peak. So everything now is just coming down from that. So save the pull apart segments for the go home to give us the excitement to say, okay, yeah, we want to see them fight.
Yeah.
Don't do it weeks before the pay-per-view because you're only going down from there. So, I'm old school when it comes to that, man. Like Hogan Andre it wasn't any physicality minus the segment, at the what was that? Was that Piper? Was that Piper? No, was that Brother Love?
I don't remember. The chain gimmick?
Yeah.
I don't remember what that was.
Oh, what was it? Was it Piper's Pit or Brother Love SK Nation when Hogan and Andre pulls Hogan's chain? I don't really see. Let's see what segment it was. It was Piper's Pit. Yeah, Piper's Pit. Yeah. So I mean, like that was the physicality when he pulled the chain out, but other than that, you weren't having some big, Donnybrook, right before it was like, man, the irresistible force versus the immovable object.
Yeah.
That's a big marquee WrestleMania match. So, Young Reckless 199 super chat, bro. Bischoff needs to take over AEW so WWE can step up. Speaking of that, real quick, man. I think Bischoff wants Goldberg and Punk for Wembley. What do you think?
Yeah, I read that headline, but I didn't read the story. That's old. I mean, that's old history. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know if there's anything left on any bloom left on that rose. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that yeah, Brother Love. What year did Brother Love
He came with Taker, right?
Yeah, Taker came out. Yeah, that's right. Taker debuted in 90. I think
Yeah.
Survivor Series of 90.
Yeah.
So DiBiase introduced Taker, but Brother Love was before that. Then he was a little bit before that. He didn't come with Taker because he was already a thing before Taker was. I think Brother Love became a thing back in 80, had to be about 89, 90 when Brother Love became a thing. Because he had that segment with Robert Downey Jr. That's was that Mania 4 or 5? I was in trouble.
One of those two.
Yeah. So that was either 89 or 90. So yeah, that was very interesting. Next we have Rollins and the Miz. What do you think, Vince?
Bro, I am so sick of seeing the Miz. Like, I'm sorry, man. Miz is my number one channel changer. I am. That act is so old and so stale, and he's just sitting back collecting a boatload of money, and he means zero, bro. My God, it's so worn out, man.
Do you think he's okay with that right now?
Probably, man. He still does his TV show with the wife, right? He's making a lot of.
Do they still do Miz and Mrs.?
Yeah, I don't know.
You haven't heard? I haven't heard.
Oh my God, I'm so tired of that, bro. It's that is the number one channel changer for me.
How do you think that? I mean, he's 2-time Grand Slam champion, so he's accomplished quite a bit. And do you think at this point, like, and he's 42 or something like that, so he's toward the tail end of his career. Do you see
no, he's run its course. He needs to go out to pasture. He's done.
Let's put some legitimate numbers on this. Do you see Miz as an active full-time wrestler less than or greater than 5 years?
Because of the WWE?
Yeah, as an active wrestler.
They'll have him there another 5 years.
You think so?
Absolutely. They don't care that he doesn't mean anything. They'll have him there another 5 years.
Do you think he'll be just okay with just passing the checks?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
Wow. But that will build. Do you think that Miz will be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, bro. The people that they've put in the Hall of Fame, absolutely he will. Yes.
There you go. But man, he would go in the Hall of Fame because of his accomplishments?
Longevity, I guess. I don't know.
Wow. What about Dolph Ziggler? Do you see Dolph Ziggler in the Hall of Fame?
Bro, if Dolph Ziggler is in the Hall of Fame, then you got to put Steve Lombardi in the Hall of Fame, because Dolph Ziggler may have lost more than Steve Lombardi.
So, the Miz has lost quite a bit too, man. The Miz has lost quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get your commentary on what you thought about the backstage segment between KO and Sami Zayn.
Oh, bro, this Bro was riveting. That was brilliance. Absolute brilliance at its best, bro. Bro.
Indeed. All right, let me know what you think about Lassie and Theory.
I got a weird question, bro.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm not getting this. Has Sami Zayn ever washed his hair?
I think his hair is like that because it's washed.
Okay. So what does it look like unwashed then?
Probably just non-silky. You know how a lot of those people had to wash their hair before they go out there because it gives it the kind of silky stringy look.
Are you referring to Sami Zayn's hair as silky? Because I'm referring to it as nesty.
Nesty?
Yes.
Moppy.
Bret Hare's hair when he waited to go to the ring. Now, that was silky.
Roman Reigns is silky.
Sami Zayn looks like he's got hat hair. He constantly has hat hair.
I said, after I said silky, I said stringy. So it's all so stringy. I think it's stringy. It's not poofy. So it'd probably be poofy, and he doesn't want poofy hair. So
he needs Dr. Chris hair bad.
there you go, man.
Bad.
All right, let me know what you think about Theory and Lashley, and then at the end, Bronson Reed makes a save, and I'm gonna look at while you do that. I'm gonna look at the Miz's all-time WWE win-loss record, and I'm gonna look at Dolph Ziggler's win-loss
And
record.
the Brooklyn Brawler.
I already told you Brooklyn Brawler. Remember, he's like
Huh?
55 and 300.
Oh, 300 or something. All right, yeah, guys, listen, man. Obviously, they had the luxury of booking Lashley and Theory because they knew there was going to be no finish of this match whatsoever because Bronson Reed was going to do a run-in. Me personally, I do not like that a guy like Theory is taking a guy like Lashley to task. Because, again, I always go by, if this were real, Lashley would hurt Theory very, 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 very badly. But they were able to give you this match because they knew they were going to continue the business with Reed, and they were just going to toss it out.
There you go. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm going to write this down. Go ahead.
All right. The Miz's WWE record, okay?
Yes.
442 wins, 44 draws, 981 losses. So he's lost about 67% of his career in the WWE. So two out of every 3 matches he loses typically.
Okay.
So Dolph Ziggler. All right. So Dolph Ziggler's record is all right, here we go. Win-loss record is WWE 685 wins, 26 draws, 835.
Wow, so he's got a much better record than the Miz.
So he loses 54% of his matches. So
wow.
1 out of every 2 to 3 matches, he typically wins.
Right.
So about 12 to 13% more than the Miz. So statistically, Dolph Ziggler deserves to be a Hall of Famer over the Miz.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yes, he does. Yes.
Next we have Trish Stratus. Here we go. Let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about this in-ring promo from Trish Stratus. As I thought she was going to try to heal it up, talk about how, she's the bee's knees, it's her all about her and all that. So what you think about this?
Oh, exactly what you said, bro. It was just so predictable, man. Just every single thing that she said was just so predictable. Then I love how they have to try to make sense out of things that made no sense.
Yeah.
I love when they always go back to that well, and then they just make it worse because now it really makes no sense. But this was just so predictable to me. Yeah. And where was Becky?
She tweeted that she wasn't going to be there tonight. There's some reports that said that there was like a minor injury or something like that. So this is the logic. Exactly to your point, Vince. This is the logic that I see with this, of trying to make a bad thing better, but essentially you're making it worse. All right. So I was probably about 8 or 9 years old, and I was with my grandmother. And I was trying to be super nice, a very nice grandson. And she was a hardworking woman. She's one of the, my grandma is actually one of the people who inspired me to be such a hardworking man. She would always work, to try to make ends meet. Had a morning job, had an evening job. She was a cook day and night. So I was trying to help her on her get ready for her night job. I think it was either a night job or she was going somewhere. I forgot where it was. And so she had her iron out, right? And she had a white sweater, and she had like some print on her white sweater. And at that point, I didn't know how to iron, but I was just trying to be charitable, right? I mean, no malice. I was totally trying to be nice. And I didn't know that you can't iron over the print because that would just smear it, right? And so me just try to be nice. I'm ironing, and all of a sudden I start to notice that it was smearing. And I'm like, uh-oh. and what I tried to do was continue to like iron around it to see, and it was just smearing the whole white sweater and making things worse.
Yeah.
And thankfully, like I didn't get like my butt handed to me. She was so nice at that moment. You know, she was tough, but at that moment she was so nice. She was just like, oh, like she was so like nice, and I'll never forget that. That was a long time ago, but I'll never forget that. But at that point, I was trying to make a bad thing better.
Yeah.
And I was making it worse.
Yes.
And that's what I think logically when I think about this Trish Stratus segment. Like, quit trying to make a bad thing better because you're making it worse by your promo. It was so predictable. It was so contrived. And it felt like you're just phoning this in and just collecting a paycheck, man. Like I told you, that's what I said last week, man. Like, she probably really likes Becky Lynch. And she's like, okay, I'll do it. I really like Becky, and I'll make this happen until SummerSlam, and I'll bounce. But it's not feeling authentic, man.
Yeah,
feel authentic.
I agree, man.
Next, in the moral of the story, don't iron something with print because it'll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next, we have Cody Rhodes cutting a backstage interview. You know, he's in a suit now. You want to make sure that he gets jacket and dress shirt there. Then we get Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville defeating Michin and Candice. Man, Michin and Candice LeRae, man. Vince, what are we doing with these talents?
And not only that, bro. First of all, there's a couple of things. This was horrible. These girls were atrocious. This was absolutely atrocious. I did pop huge, bro. I popped huge. When I saw Nikki Cross is still a part of this story.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wait, really, bro? Yeah. Wait, she's still in this stuff. Oh, my. Yeah. Bro, are you going to tell me that's not some kind of rib on her? Come on. At this point, bro, it's a rib, man.
Man, look, we criticize the lack of longevity and putting meat on the bone of stories. But if there's one bone that they want to put some meat on storyline wise, it's this one of Nikki having a friend now. She's got a friend.
Now the angle is that the babyface champions got water thrown in their face. That's the angle.
That's it right there, man.
That's it right there, bro. That's all you need.
Yeah, that leads to a match. Everything leads to a match, man. Yep. I said your name wrong. I said LaRue instead of LeRae. Oh, that's a match.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, man. That's it.
We get more hype for the draft. We get Street Profits, Rick Boogs, Elias, Baron Corbin, Akira Tozawa. Kind of teased a Street Profits breakup here, man. There's been some rumors that we might see that in the draft. What do you think?
We probably will, because we've been talking for ages about Montel Ford, whatever his name is.
Yeah. I actually don't mind if you do it this way. Like, I don't mind that, because I keep saying this every week. I don't want to see, I'm Angelo Dawkins. I'm mad because people like Montez Ford. I mean, like, stuff like that is just so Bush League writing to me, because only thing that's going to do is that's just going to cause Angelo Dawkins to look like an idiot and just lose the feud and just go to obscurity.
Yeah, we've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah, and so at least if you do it this way, they'll be on two different brands and they'll have an equal opportunity to be successful.
Yeah.
Not at each other's expense. And I like that. I like that. If they do make Montez a single star, this is the way to do it. So
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Then we have the Usos with Solo backstage promo. There you go, man. Well, what do you think? What do you think with that?
Again, bro, it's just like we saw the promo. We've seen that a million times before. And then they milked those freaking entrances.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro. And then we have our match. Bro, that one bump that Riddle took on the ring apron, I watched it over, and luckily it looked like he landed on his backside and not his back.
Was that
Bro,
the choke slam from Priest?
Yeah, bro. You can break your back on that, bro.
Yeah.
Man, bro, when you talk to real wrestling trainers like the Al Snows of the world about that ring apron, when I saw that, I thought that was major injury. But when they played it back, he kind of caught his backside. But again, bro, then then the babies they beat up earlier in the show are all healthy and not hurt at all, and they whatever, man.
Yeah. Any predictions? So I want to start doing this. Like, this is how predictable WWE is typically. All right. So I want to do a couple things before we end shows, and remind me, SK Nation, to start doing this. All right. I want to do your best part of. You can't say that it was over. Give me like a best part of Raw, and because we book Raw basically weeks ahead every week, and it happens. Give me something that is going to predictably happen next week based on how predictable.
Oh, no doubt about it. Okay, number one, the again, bro, and you're asking me to find something I like. Yeah. I'm gonna find the same thing that I liked last week. I like real wrestlers fighting. So I like the Lashley Bronson Reed gimmick, and they continued that today. I like that. Next week, without a shadow of a doubt, you're going to see the Usos and Samoa Sikoa against the LWO, without a shadow of a doubt. You're going to see that 6-man tag next week, no doubt.
Yeah, I can definitely attest. I can agree with the Lashley Bronson rebuild. I like that. I like that they had Reed get the heat this week, especially if Lashley's going to take the win. They'll probably, I imagine, they stretch this out to the pay-per-view. They should. I don't see why not. I'm cool with this. I'm cool with Reed getting the heat for this week.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And Lashley getting over at the end. I'm cool with that, because again, I say this all the time: who got over? And in this segment, Reed got over because he destroyed Bobby Lashley during his match somehow. And it protected Lashley in a moment too, because he tried to have some comeuppance, tried to do the figure, the grip, what is it? The hurt lock. That's what it's called. The hurt lock. And Austin Theory brought him back down by doing the kick, which logically that didn't make sense, because you avalanched Theory, and then instead of Theory trying to get something back at him, he just helps Lashley. That was a bit off, but overall, I like that segment. As far as predictability, I think that we'll get LWO and see, the thing is, do we get LWO in Judgment Day or LWO and Usos? Because we might get LWO. I think we already did it. I think they already did LWO. No, I think they did Escobar and Priest. So either we're going to get LWO against Judgment Day or LWO against Usos for next week. It would make more sense with Judgment Day, since the feud is Rey and Dom, though. So we might get that.
Yeah, we might get that. Here's another thing I want to say, bro. This is a pet peeve of mine. Bro, you look like the biggest mark, and say I'm glad too, because rolling at the buzzer with a 1999. But I want to say this, bro, I'm sorry. You look like the biggest freaking mark in the world when you come down singing your own ring music. You look like such a freaking mark. Bro, you ever did Demolition come down to the ring singing "Here Comes the Axe, Here Comes this"? Did Hogan ever come down? Did Hogan ever come down singing "Real American"? Ever? No. Ever? Never. No. Bro, you know who's the only one? And tell me if I'm wrong, and please chime in here, Sportskeeda Nation. Bro, the only one who sang his theme song and it fit his character was Shawn.
Honky Tonk Man would too.
Oh, did he? So
got my long sideburns, got my hair slicked back.
Yeah, but that works. When Austin Theory comes out singing his I'm looking at my TV and I'm like, bro, you're such a mark. Like you just look like the biggest freaking mark in the building.
And to Honky Tonk Man's point, though, like singing his song live was a part of the gimmick. It wasn't just like it wasn't just coming like, you know, the crowd was into it and it was just a part of his gimmick because it made the fans over. No, it was a part of his heel gimmick because he couldn't sing. And
not only that, and bro, and Shawn sang his.
Yeah.
So when Shawn came down singing, like Shawn singing the song live.
Yeah. Indeed.
Every time I see Theory coming down, I'm like, bro, you look like the biggest mark in the whole entire arena. Will you please stop doing that, bro?
Hate's out down, man.
My God. But I think we got
the Mountie. We got Rollin and Corey. The Mountie. Yeah, the Mounties. Yeah, the Road Dogg. No, he didn't sing his own. He just cut the promo. Road Dogg didn't sing his own. He did Whip My Baby Tonight. It says New Age Outlaws, but no, he didn't do it in New Age Outlaws.
No.
He did it with My Baby Tonight. But the point was him, the roadie was the one who actually was
right. But when he came down singing it like he wasn't singing to his track.
Right.
He was singing it live, bro.
Yeah.
That ain't Austin Theory on the track, bro.
Right.
If it was Austin Theory on the track, it's so markish to me.
Lip syncing, very, very interesting. We got Raw in 1999. Just rewatched Wrestling with Shadows. I was 12 when Shawn beat Brett at Mania, 12 and 14 during the Montreal Screwjob. In my late 30s now, but as a kid, I thought Russo was the demon boss. And forced Vince McMahon to screw Brett.
No, not at all.
But now he is one of the biggest contributors of the Legion of Raw because he realized that Vince Russo is a heck of a guy, man. Very true. Thank you for all your contributions.
Yes, thank you, man. Yes.
You deserve 7 stars. Matter of fact, he deserves 7 stars. That is given by Dave Meltzer, but he has some directions for Rollin, though.
I don't anticipate ever giving another match 7 stars, but if I do, then it'll be a wonderful thing for wrestling.
It'll be with Rollin. It'll definitely be with Rollin. That's for sure.
Bro, there are I swear to God, the egos in the wrestling business are so freaking comical. It's so comical to see.
You would know. Yeah, you would know from working with them. That's for sure. But that was on point. But I think he also has some directions for Rollin too. What was it? What was the directions? He's got to, just in case you want to go in Japan.
The directions you want. You want the directions.
Just in case
Rollin played a hand in his pants because he plays a curse word. Yeah, he says a curse word. Then
Rollins just wants some directions though. That's
here we go. Rollins, just in case you're going to Cork and Hall. Here you go.
Well, everything's Cork and Hall. So if you stay at Cork and Hall, you're going to walk. It's a 20-minute train ride. Yeah.
20 minutes.
There you go. 20 minutes.
Hold on. I got another one for Roland. Now, Roland, I know sometimes you think you're confused, but you're really not confused. Because if you want to really hear confusion, Roland, here's what confusion sounds like. You ready, Dr. Chris?
Let's do it.
That's the best Iron Man match that's ever been.
Yes,
that's it. That's it right there. The best Iron Man match has ever had. It's ever been.
What was that last
precisely true. Fort I Corey, Kev Kellum has to do damage control every Tuesday for what y'all say on Monday.
What's that mean? Who's Kev Kellum?
Kev Kellum, you've done a show here with him. He's one of the Sportskeeda contributors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Yeah, Kev's a cool guy. Yeah, so he has to do damage control and represent WWE in a positive light, probably because we crush Raw every single week because it deserves to be crushed. Zubar Talk TV, $20. Hello, Dr. Chris and Vince. Recently watched the full Ready to Rumble. Both your thoughts on the film. I'm curious if Vince Russo's thoughts at the time and how it played a role at time writing for WCW, especially with Arquette.
First of all, bro, I thought that movie was atrocious. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Bro, a lot of people don't understand this too, bro. Like, bro, do you know when I started working with WCW, bro, do you know, like, for the first month or 6 weeks or whatever it was, they gave me a list of top guys that weren't going to be on Nitro because they were making that movie.
Oh, wow.
So, like, every week, 1 week we wouldn't have DDP and like literally top guys, and it would change every week. Wow. And I had to work my way around that for like the first 4 to 6 weeks. It was a pain in the neck.
It was bad. It was so bad that it was funny.
Yeah, I know.
To me. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so cheesy and just bad altogether that I actually enjoyed it. It was just like a train wreck that I couldn't take my eyes off. My eyes off of.
Yeah.
You know what else was a bad movie in hindsight? No Holds Barred, man. Like that. Like watching it 35 years later as an adult. Man, that movie is horrible.
Here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. The female lead was hot.
She was.
At least there was no female lead.
No. Well, she wasn't lead. She was supported. Arquette's love interest
was who?
She was one of the. She played a Nitro girl. And then she ended up being like a rogue, like she was a mole, like she was Sinclair's, like she was working for Sinclair.
No, I don't.
And she was one of the Nitro girls that Arquette had a crush on. She was pretty nice.
Oh, I don't remember that.
She was a cutie. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. This guy right here, Vince Russo. Follow him at matter of fact. Plug that tank top, man. You got some fantasy.
Yeah, guys, you need advice. If you guys play fantasy baseball and you need advice, you can join up my patreon.com/VRFBB. I do multiple podcasts every week, and I will help you win your fantasy league, bro.
Bingo. Patreon.com/VRFBB. Follow me at Chris Prolific. On the Twitter webs. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Vince Russo, Dr. Chris. Have a good night, everybody. Solo.